Just about 2 years ago, we had a major fire in Sonoma County. It was on the evening of October the 8th. And came down here after we left our home ranch, which is about a mile up the road, which was engulfed in flames by that time. And came down here to make sure all was well here, and it wasn't, but we were checking out our guests. And as soon as they were gone, and the sheriffs and the fire department evacuated all of our staff, and I chose to stay here and fight the fire and do the best I could to preserve what we had built and preserve the animals and the wildlife that we had here. A lot of people have asked how the animals reacted during the course of this fire, and it was actually amazing. They seemed to seek out the more open areas and observe what was going on. There was no panic. There was no trying to crash through the fences to make an escape. Some of the animals that were more in peril, the cheetahs and the hyenas and things of that nature, they just were very reclusive and stayed back while I was able to put out the fire that was going on in their enclosures.
Animals are very instinctual. They'll move out of the way of incoming fire, and then as the fire turns, they'll go back to where the fire's already burned, which is actually a safe zone. And that, not just for us, that happened at many different farms up and down the valley. We have a pepperwood reserve that has over 100 head of cattle up there as an example. The cattle moved out of the burn area and then moved back into where it already burned as the fire continued to burn around them. And not one animal was lost up there, and not one of our animals was lost here. We were very fortunate. As part of our overall fire plan, we call it fire mitigation, which is kind of a natural process that happens when you have animals. They graze the lands so that you don't end up having grasses that are 2 or 3 feet tall. It's actually eaten all the way down to the ground. When you're out on tour today, you'll see where that's already happening. The animals graze down, which keeps fire from spreading. What happened in the Tubbs fire was they called it a crown fire, which means it goes across the tops of trees and catches those trees and then burns them down. But it didn't spread to us as fast.